everyone, we're going to find the value of the derivative of f composed with g at the value of x equals -1 here. With f of u equals the quantity of u minus 1 divided by u plus 1, then squared. And our u equals g of x, which is 1 divided by x squared minus 1. Looking at what we have f of u, and we have our u as g of x. So let's look and see. This is, if I substitute my u for g of x, this is what we have. F g of x, which is the same as f of g of x. Like that. Or you can put parentheses there too. Alright, so we want to find the derivative of this. So if you differentiate with respect to x, our f g of x, we're using your outside-inside rule or your chain rule. Take the derivative of the outer function. So that's going to be f prime of g of x. And then you take the derivative of the inside or inner function. So that's going to be g prime of x. Now this equals f of g prime of x. In our case, our x is -1. So we'll be substituting in -1 here to find our value. We already have g of x. G of x is here. So if you substitute in -1 here, we just plug it in there. But we need to find our derivative of f and derivative of g. So the first thing we're going to have to do is take f prime of u. Alright, that's when you differentiate with respect to u minus 1 divided by u plus 1 squared. We're going to use the quotient rule and the chain rule. So for the chain rule, you bring this 2 down times the inner function. And that's going to be the first power. Then we're going to differentiate with respect to u, the inner function. Alright, here we're going to use the quotient rule. So now we have this equals 2 times u minus 1 divided by u plus 1. Alright, now differentiating this, we copy down the denominator times the derivative of the numerator. Derivative of the numerator is just going to be 1. Subtract, copy down your numerator times the derivative of the denominator, which is just going to be 1. Alright, so this is going to give you, and then you have to divide all of this by the denominator squared. Sorry about that, I almost forgot. Alright, now this is going to give you 2 times u minus 1 divided by u plus 1. Now, this piece here is just going to be u plus 1 minus u minus 1 divided by x plus 1 squared. Now what happens is the u's will cancel out, and you're left with 2 here. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then you're going to have 4 times u minus, this should be a u, sorry, u minus 1. Let me write this here. U minus 1, that's the numerator. But for the denominator, we can multiply these two. So I'm going to change this real quick to u. Alright, since they're the same base, this is just going to be divided by u plus 1 cubed. So this is your f prime of u. Now, luckily I think g prime of u is going to be a little easier. So not g prime of u, but g prime of x. So that means you're going to differentiate with respect to x. And I'm going to change this to x to the negative 2 power minus 1. So this is going to equal negative 2x to the power of negative 3, which is negative 2 divided by x cubed. So we got that part. Now all we have to do is look at our formula, which we did before. So we had f of g prime, and we had x, but our x is negative 1. That's going to equal f prime of g of negative 1 times f prime of negative 1. All right. G of negative 1. If you substitute in negative 1 here, you're going to get 1 divided by 1 minus 1. So this is going to be 0. Now we have f prime of 0 times g prime of negative 1. When I substitute in 0 into my f prime, so I'm going to write down my f prime again. So your f prime of u, that was 4 times u minus 1 divided by u plus 1 cubed. So if I substitute in 0, I'm just going to get negative 4, because you'll have negative 4 divided by 1. So this equals negative 4. Now g prime of negative 1, and g prime again was, let me write that down again, that was negative 2 divided by x cubed. So if you substitute in negative 2, you're going to get negative 2 divided by, negative 1. You substitute in negative 1, you get negative 1. So that's going to be positive 2. So our value is going to end up being equal to negative 8. And keep everything straight there. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.